$75, this is what they're taking home, and their overhead is low because it's either hijacked or it's fake, and they can make a lot of money each year doing this. And these are just the people that were surveyed and just the people who answered honestly. I think the problem is actually much, much bigger. And you're going to find that a lot of consumers actually want these fake products, and they don't understand how they can be harmed by them. So this is really the crux of the issue. Well, the rest of us are very smart, and we're using firewalls and virus scanners and all this other protection, and we're streetwise. Everyone else who falls for these scams, who follows through with the emails, they're keeping the spammers employed, and they're endangering the rest of us. What are the tools of the trade? Malware, botnet, spam, bulk registrations, content deployment scripts where they can just throw up thousands of identical sites and then make them disappear when they have to. Registration forgery is a big part of this, and it's so easy to do. Proxy services and secrecy within the industry. Very, very clear connections between pornography, drugs, and malware, okay? Recently, we got a bunch of sites terminated that were selling steroids. And then what we do is we go revisit those locations later after they've been shut down to see what's going on to make sure that they're still shut down. Most of them reappear eventually with some other kind of content. Those fake steroid sites were redirecting to this Wild Girls site, which attempted to force this malware onto the machine, okay? And it was actually very hard. You had to just completely cancel out the program. You couldn't close any of these windows. An ordinary user, they wouldn't know what to do, okay? The content of this site came from this other similar site, but this one had links to fake pharmacies. So we originally had fake pharmacies that got shut down. The redirect pages go to places where they try and distribute malware, and then the content is delivered from a site that links to fake pharmacies. Does anybody here think this is a coincidence? Okay, really, really nasty stuff. A lot of these fake pharmacies have links to pornography sites. The reason why is pornography is an old trick that still works to get people to download malware. And what was really disturbing is that a lot of these sites seem to have movies that depicted rape scenes and other kind of violent activity. I'm sure everybody's aware of this. These are the phony antivirus packages that are out there. I've been to people's houses where they have gotten this stuff on their PC, and it is really, really hard to get these off because they thought about this really, really carefully, and they blocked every single tool that somebody might use to remove malware from their PC manually. You can't get to the control panel, you can't get to the command line, you can't control alt delete. I mean, all the standard stuff has been blocked by them. The registry editor, everything. An ordinary consumer, no clue what to do about this. So what's going on here is we're failing the consumer over and over again. I mean, we're all very smart people, we're in the industry. Imagine for a minute that you're not somebody who knows what you're doing, okay? We're placing huge and unreasonable expectations on the consumer, okay? You get a piece of spam, you don't know anything about spam, you don't know anything about the internet crime world. You have to decide first whether or not the email's real. Then you have to decide, do I want to do anything about it? If you want to do anything about it, you have to figure out where to report it. And then unfortunately, most of the time when you report it, you don't get any feedback back. You send it to the government, no feedback. Send it to your bank, no feedback. Send it to the ISP, they'll probably actually tell you to go screw yourself. All right? So the consumers are clueless, but they're very, very angry. They want a solution, but nothing's coming through yet. Okay? And unfortunately, the end users have historically been blamed for spam and viruses. Think back, what did you hear? Oh, you're getting spam? You must have signed up at a bad site. You must have gone to a porn site and signed up for something. Okay, later on, oh, well, you know what? You must have clicked on something, it's your fault. Oh, you must have bought something from a phony site. Oh, you don't have a virus or a spam scan package. Well, it's your fault. There's no responsibility assumed by the industry. It's really unfortunate. We've issued a lot of reports in the last 6 months, and they have had some amazing effects. I mean, and it's really been within the kind of closed circle world of the registrars and ISPs. In May, we released what we called the 10 worst registrars, And we rated the 10 worst based on how many illicit sites they had, how much spam was directing people to those sites, how many false records they had within their whois, and their compliance failures. Okay, obviously they were not happy. We got a lot of backlash from these people. Okay, we were told anonymously to back off. Okay, we were contacted by several of them who said, "Look, we want to work with you to get off this list. We'll do anything we can to get off this list." So we told them, "You have to drop this provider, you have to drop this customer, and then you have to implement these business standards in the way that you deal with the consumers and the public." And a couple of them did it. A couple of them said, "You know what? We'd like to do it, but we just can't do it." And then finally, we actually finally got some action out of ICANN. They issued enforcement notices. They don't necessarily do anything. It was a big public display of enforcement. All these registrars are still in business, and a lot of them are still, pushing the illicit sites. Another one, we focused on what was the worst one on the previous top 10 list. This company called ZinNet. They were huge into the fake pharmacy market. So we issued a major report detailing their involvement in the illicit pharmacy market. Huge panic within the Chinese registrar community. Every single registrar in China was affected by this report about one particular registrar. They all contacted us through third parties because they were afraid that their English wasn't good and they wanted somebody to talk to us who we could speak to. The staff at these companies in China, they were told that they had to make the New John problem go away. Not that they wanted to fix what was wrong within their registrar, but they wanted to make the bad PR go away, and they had to figure out a way to make this go away. Okay, techs told us that they would get fired if we didn't remove our report from the net. I mean, I'm not really an ego-driven person. I don't like to think about, wow, I can get all these people fired. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I'm responsible for all these people halfway around the world getting fired. Result: thousands of bad sites were dumped. They had to clean up their act. Not that they've completely cleaned up their act, but they have to start looking like they are. ICANN was silent on the issue. Another report, we worked with John Horton of legitscript.com to focus on US-based providers who were hosting or registering sites that were selling Schedule III narcotics. Okay? We issued very, very detailed reports to every one of these companies showing them what was being sold, why it was illegal, and why these sites had to be dumped. None of them dumped them. Most of the registrars ignored us, and they told us that, well, these sites don't actually violate our policies. Once again, ICANN silent. Registrars in mystery locations. We found 70 registrars that had no publicly disclosed location. Many were claiming to be in the US, but they weren't. Now, just let me clarify this. I don't care where you are. You know what? I look up a company on the internet and you're located in the Czech Republic. I think that that's really cool. I don't understand why people have to pretend that they're in the US. There was a lot of behind the scenes outrage about this. Somebody anonymously sent us a big email thread from different government officials and different people involved in the community saying, what the hell's going on here? What followed was a mass update of the Internet Registrar Directory, but once again, there was no public acknowledgement from ICANN about this issue. Our most recent report, and possibly one of the most controversial,